Lulu stock down 40% since all-time highs back in December 2023. Could we see this stock bounce back to the upside with earnings this week on Wednesday after market close? Welcome to Intrendias. Let's check out intrendias.com for free buy and sell signals on your favorite stocks, cryptos, and Forex. I'm going to type in Lulu stock here in the symbol search and select the volume breakout algorithm. Here we are seeing Lulu up 2% if you use the buy and sell signals from Intrendias, while Lulu stock itself is down 20%. So even on a declining stock, Intrendias is able to find key buy and sell positions. May 31st, 2024 was the latest buy signal on Lulu stock. Let's check out what the Mia algorithm has to say about this clothing athletic wear store. Here we see buy signal also most recently May 31st. And check this out, great sell signals here during December 2023. This was the peak of Lulu stock. So here we're seeing some buy signals most recently, May 31st. There has been some early buy signals in April, which so far have been incorrect. So of course, Intrendias is not financial advice. However, overall for the past 2 years, the Mia algorithm is up 17.7% compared to the stock itself down 20%. So Intrendias.com is still on the upside. Let's go back to Lulu on the technical chart here, down 40% as we mentioned. Let's delete that and let's look at what the RSI is doing. What I'm seeing personally is a RSI divergence where I am seeing higher lows on the RSI. However, we're seeing lower lows on the closing price. So higher lows on RSI, lower lows on the stock price itself. I'm also seeing a huge volume gap with the, if I could find my rectangle here, we have a large volume gap. This occurred because of earnings on March 21st, 2024. And as we are entering a inflationary environment, there's a lot of concern for these high premium store brands as consumers are getting tightened. However, what I find super interesting is that Abercrombie jumped 19% after their recent earnings. Management raised guidance, predicting profits will grow 35% this year, and A&F stock, Abercrombie, beat Wall Street forecast on both top and bottom lines. We're seeing a PE ratio of 16, 35% growth rate. When we look at their quarterly results, they posted net sales up 23% compared to last year. American net sales, this is the best net sales, total company net sales, highest quarter one net sales in history, highest quarter one also for the brand's history. So we're seeing 22% year over year growth and 31% for the brand itself. And they also own Hollister brands here up 12%. So I first saw these earnings and I'm like, wow, that's amazing, right? Because I'm thinking the consumer's getting tightened, the consumer's getting constrained, interest rates 8%, and inflation is nowhere near the 2% we're looking for. The CPI number, if I last recall, was like 3.8. So when I see a discretionary non-necessity stock like Abercrombie, ANF ticker symbol, I'm thinking, how does that play out? How does that make sense, right? So I'm doing a short little research on this. ANF stock, their target audience, e-commerce and robust online sales targeting 18-year-old to 24-year-old demographic. According to Earnest Analytics, consumers aged 25 to 34 accounted for 45% of ANF spending in July 2023, which is up from 18% in 2017. ANF has also used social media platforms like TikTok to build brand awareness with Gen Z. The brand is known for its preppy and casual style in the contemporary era. So here we have discretionary, right? Style clothing. They target women, men, kids, and they also have their jeans and active line. So we have these 18 and 24-year-olds. Those are their primary demographic. Your high school and your college age young women. But then I'm also trying to think whose money is it, right? Whose actual money is it, right? Because it's also adults, sure, but it's also the parents. It's also the parents' money that's maybe buying their kids clothes, right? Sending them off to college. Here's some clothes for college, right? Or here's some clothes for high school. Your new year in high school. You're starting off your new year. Here's some clothes, right? So sure, they're targeting the 18 to 24 demographic, but whose money is it? Not only is it the 18 to 24-year-old women's money, but it's also the parents that spend their money on their kids, right? So I'm also trying to think about how would it make sense for Lulu, right? Because here we have A&F beating earnings in a spectacular way. Their net sales is the best they've seen in their first quarter. In their quarter one history, net sales last quarter was the best, right? So what's Lulu's target audience, right? So Lulu's target audience, according to founder Chip Wilson, is quote, super girls or fit and athletic young women with professional careers and disposable income, right? That's the key word for me is disposable income, right? ANF, nowhere in ANF did they say disposable income. Nowhere in ANF did they say disposable income. I'm curious. I feel like I saw their target audience in, yeah, here we go. So here's their customer base, right? Hollister, 13 to 21-year-olds, right? No 13-year-olds making their own money, right? So it's the parents that are buying kids' clothes, right? Targeting Gen Z with millennial parents, right? Parents. They're the ones spending the money. Comfort obsessed. That's something that I want to get to Lulu in a second. And financially reliant, right? So this is the difference between Lulu. Comfort obsessed with Lulu, right? Lulu's known for very comfortable clothing. However, Lulu's a premium, right? Financially reliant, sure, A&F is, but not Lulu. You could go to Lulu and one pair of pants is like $130, right? A bottle that says Lulu on it, this big bottle of water, is like 50 bucks, right? And there's no water in it, right? But so these are the little differences that you see between A and F, right? A and F is up huge. It's like up 500% in the past 5 years because perhaps they're financially reliant, unlike Lulu, where you have to spend at a premium, right? But anyway, that's the key difference, right? Disposable income, right? That's the key difference. Disposable income. Lulu's targeting those with high paying jobs. They're targeting medium to higher upper class with fun money that they can spend for athleisure and comfortable clothes and for athleticism, right? But I'm also trying to think about this because you're telling me that A&F parents they're getting tightened because interest rates are at 8, inflation is rampant. However, at the same time, these parents are able to afford, right, their kids some nice, nice clothes. And net sales for quarter one history is the best. So if these parents are able to get their kids comfortable clothes, what about Lulu's target demographic? The ones with disposable income. Could those people, could those potential loyal customers enable Lulu to experience the same quarter like ANF, and that disposable income becomes Lulu's revenue? I think that's possible. Lulu shares rise on outperformance rating from Telsey Advisory. They maintain a $550 price target on Lulu stock. And Raymond James adjusts their Lulu price target to $400, down from $490. However, still well above Lulu's current price at 306. And we're seeing these bullish patterns here where the RSI is providing a bullish divergence to the upside. And we also have this volume gap here that could potentially signal Lulu to come back to 420 or 440. And I can't ignore ANF's great performance in quarter one. I can't ignore this. The fact that they had the best sales in their quarter one history, best highest quarter one net sales in history during a time in the US economy where it feels like you see prices hike at the grocery store, you see prices hike at the gas station, you see prices hike on your auto loan, right? So I can't ignore this going into Lulu's earnings. And I understand ANF is not the same as Lulu, and Lulu is not the same as ANF. ANF clothing, much cheaper, right? Much cheaper than Lulu. Lulu's a bit of a premium. However, if Lulu's customer base has disposable income, imagine what they're capable of doing to Lulu's quarter earnings. Okay. And this is where I get sticky, right? This is where I get a little concerned because on the flip side of ANN performance, you have Starbucks shares sinking 12% as coffee chain slashes forecast, as same store sales drag. Starbucks got a little bit too excited, increased their prices a bit too fast, and customers are retaliating. They're retaliating to that premium. If you see prices hike everywhere and your budget is getting tighter, what's the first thing you're going to cut? Probably that coffee that you get before rolling into work. You're probably going to cut that first. It's one of the most popular things to cut is to cut your coffee. Instead of buying it at Starbucks, maybe you make it at home. You brew it at home with the Mr. Coffee pot that you haven't used for 5 years, right? That's the first thing you're going to cut. So Starbucks is at a premium, right? Starbucks, I think you could consider as a, premium brand. I mean, one drink is like $8. That's like a meal for someone, right? That's a meal to people. That's a lot of money. So Starbucks in the coffee world is premium, right? So could we say the same about Lulu? Is Lulu a premium in the stores, in the retail business, in fashion, right? So I could see the argument going both ways. So it's interesting to see this dynamic where A&N has an amazing quarter while Starbucks has a poor quarter, and they're both about pricing, right? However, Lulu's trailing multiples and forward multiples, total enterprise value, revenue, they're the lowest they've ever been, according to TIKR Terminal. It's the lowest it's ever been. So is this a value opportunity? Potentially, right? It's potential. Now let's look at some of the balance sheets and the income and cash flow statement, and let's see what else we could find with Lulu. Here we're seeing the cash and current liabilities of Lulu. This is great because I'm seeing 2.2 uh, 2.2 billion in total cash in the most recent quarter for Lulu, while the total current liabilities is only 1.6 billion. So obviously, I want to see that cash higher than the total current liabilities. Although their total liabilities have been slightly increasing since May 2022, we're seeing that cash position exponentially increase, which I love to see. Next, we also have the net income with free cash flow and Lulu repurchasing common stock. We're seeing the net income from 190 million to 670 million and great free cash flow results from the previous quarter, 1.1 billion in free cash flow and consistently repurchasing common stock, which is great for the investor. Also, in quarter four and full year fiscal 2023 results, we're seeing comparable sales increase 12%. In the Americas, it increased by 7%. And then international sales increased 43%, 44% on a constant dollar basis. So we're seeing great demand for Lulu in the international market. So Lulu definitely has potential to grow not just in the US, but also internationally. And then we have gross profit and total revenue. Um, Gross profit increasing from 870 to 1.9 billion, and then total revenues from 1.6 billion to 3.2 billion. So does not seem to be some any signs of slowing down here. The comparable sales are up along with revenue. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Lulu can be a risky play because it is, at the end of the day, in fashion and retail, which can be very hard to predict since one pair of clothing or fashion sense can be in style for a certain period of time until something new comes along on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. So fashion's very hard. Typically, personally, I do not um, dabble in fashion and retail stocks or clothing stocks. However, my personal uh, trading algorithm that leverages the algorithms that you see on intrendias.com has bought Lulu. Personally, I am down on Lulu since the stock for my algorithm first bought Lulu in April at around 320. So personally, I am down on Lulu just to be transparent with you guys. However, going into earnings season, I'm very interested and excited to see what happens with Lulu, especially after ANF stock. So, very excited to see what happens. I'm curious about your opinion on ANF stock art and Lulu stock. Are you buying and selling these companies? What's your take on fashion retail clothing stocks? And let me know what you think about intrendias.com. Free buy and sell signals on your favorite stocks, cryptos, and Forex. Check it out in trendyas.com. And thank you for watching this video. Let me know other stocks and coding tutorial videos you'd like to see in the future, and I will see you guys in the next one.